the Always Believe house. Oh, we're about to have F-U-N, fun, because we're going to do study for your test, test 4.3, the third test of the 4-6 weeks. So a magical whiteboard appears, and we're about to put the fun in quadratic functions. So this test is over your polynomial arithmetic, and you just started learning about quadratic functions and how they graph parabolas and the key attributes of those parabolas. So let's start. Let's look at number 1. So we have what expression is equivalent to 36pm minus 12p squared plus 18p. Notice we need to factor out the GCF of this, and it's not easy to do, so we're going to store, okay? So what we're going to do, we have the letters P and N, so we're going to store 2 for the letter P, and then we're going to store 3 for the letter N. And then we're going to type it in the calculator. One of them's going to match up. So I'm going to go to the calculator, and I'm going to go to calculate. Now then I'm going to store 2, control variable for P, or for N, and then hit enter, and I'm going to store 3, control variable for P. Okay, so I have N stored and I have P stored, don't I? So now that I'm just going to type in the problem. 36 PN, Jiminy crickets. 36 PN minus 12p squared plus 18p. Okay, so I have my problem typed in. I'm going to hit enter. Oh, and I got, good thing I did this. I have to put a dot. If you look right here, there's no dot between the P and the N, so I have to hit times. Everyone see that? So you need to put a dot sometimes between all the variables. Hit enter. Now that I get 162. So I'm going to go to my paper, and I'm going to put 162. One of the answer choices will be 162. Let's just type in letter A. Okay, so I'm going to go to the calculator, and we're just going to type in letter A. So it's 6p, parentheses, and I need to put a times, so I'm going to hit times, parentheses. If you don't put that multiply, it won't work. 6n minus 12p, and then plus 3. Hit, and then close the parentheses, hit enter, and it's negative 378. It does not match up. That's not the correct answer. Make sure you're putting a multiply in if you're getting an error. Now then, I'm going to go straight to the answer. Our GCF is going to be 12p, so we should have 3n inside the parentheses. Let's try letter D. So letter D, well, let's put negative 378 right here. So A was negative 378. That doesn't work, does it? Now then, we're going to try D, okay, which is 12p, parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to go and type that into the calculator to save time here. Okay, so we're going to type in 12p, parentheses, 3n. Oh, I need to put the times. If I don't put the times in there, it won't work. And then I got the 3n, and then minus p, and then plus 6. Close the parentheses, and it's 324. Did I type it in? 312p times 3n. Okay, that one won't work either, so it's not D. So let's go to D, and let's put 324. Let's try C, okay? So C should work. So let's type in C. Sorry, this is taking a while. So now we're going to type in C. So 6p times, parentheses, 6n minus 2p, not R, P, and then plus 3. Close the parentheses, enter, and I get the 162. So that's my answer in it. So I'm going to go by paper 162. This matches up to this, doesn't it? So these two have the same value if you store those numbers. Please know how to do that with store. Okay, number 2. Basically, this is vertex form, and this is standard. We got to get the one that matches, don't we? Okay? Same thing, we're going to store. We have the letter X in here, so we're going to store 2 for X. So go to your calculator, store 2 for X. So 2, control variable X, hit enter. Now then, let's type in the problem. So we have 3 times, parentheses, and it's X plus 2 squared minus 1. Hit enter. We get 47. So I'm going to go to my paper and I'm going to hit 47 right here. Remember, this would be vertex form. Your vertex would be -2, -1. Hopefully that's something you remember here. This number flips and this number just drops. So this parabola, if you graphed it, would go through -3, -1. Now then, basically we're just going to type these in and figure out which one works. And it's going to have 11 at the end. Let's try letter A, okay? So let's try letter A. So we're going to type in 3x squared plus 12x plus 11. Remember, we're not typing the f of x equal, just the in part, okay? And ding, 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 it's 47. Letter A is the correct answer in it. So letter A matches up to this. It's going to be the right answer. All the other answer choices will not give you 47, okay? Going on to number 3. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, on the parabola, you need to know the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and the zeros. Those are really important. On this one, we want to know the vertex, which is the top or bottom of the parabola. The vertex is right here. I'm going to zoom in, which is at -3 and at 4. So the ordered pair would be -3, 4. Let me erase here if I can find the button. Got a new pen. So -3, 4 would work with it. So I'm going to go back here. -3, 4 is the vertex. You cannot miss this, okay? Just to reiterate, the 4 would be your max, wouldn't it? And the range would be y less than or equal to 4. So that vertex gives you all that information, okay? Make sure you remember that. Going on to number 4. Okay, we have to simplify this exponential, okay? You cannot do this on a calculator. You have to type it in. So this is how you're going to do it. You're going to write it in expanded form. So you have x to the 5th, write out 5 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 1 y and I need 7 z's. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Most algebra teachers put a slash through the middle of a z so you don't mistake it as a 2. Now then I need 4 x's. I need 6 y's. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need 3 z's. Now then what you do is you scratch out what's on top and bottom. So I can take out 1. Let me do it this way. 2, 3, 4 x's. I have 1 x on top. I could take out 1 set of y's, and I could take out 3 z's, can I? Whatever's left is the answer. So I have 1 x on top. Draw a fraction bar. I have 1 x on top. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 z's. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 y's on the bottom. Now then, let's go over here and look at the problem. Let's put a 1 exponent here. Okay? Where are most of the x's, on top or bottom? They're on top. I'm going to put the x on the top. 5 minus 4 is 1. I don't need the 1, do I? So erase the 1, okay? Jiminy crickets, where's the button? Okay, and then most of the y's are on bottom. I'm going to put the y on the bottom and put 6 minus 1 is 5. Most of the z's are on top. 7 minus 3 is 4. Which gives me the same answer, right? So basically when you divide, you're subtracting the exponents. So make sure you write expanded form, cancel them all out. You're going to have to type this in, okay? Really good. Let's go to the next one. Fun, fun, fun. Draw a parabola that has a vertex of 3, -1 and 2 zeros. Okay, so we're going to go over here to 3, -1, which is right here. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's Jiminy Crickets. I'm losing it. So 3, -1 is over here, okay? So write 3 down 1. I go up to the 3, I go over to the 1, and now that I need 2 zeros, let's draw a line through the axis of symmetry. The zeros have to be equal distance apart. So let's put 1 0 here, that's 1 over. I want 1 0 here, and my parabola will look like this, okay? Fun, fun, fun. So make sure you know what those zeros, the zeros will be equal distance from the axis of symmetry. And the parabola must open up because the vertex is below the x-axis. Go to number 6. Determine the domain and range of x squared plus 8x minus 12. We need to know the vertex. Okay, so I'm going to draw an xy axis. This negative means it's going to open down, which means we're going to have a max, and it means that the y's are going to go down, okay? So let's graph negative x squared plus 8x minus 12. I need to get my paper so I can see it. Okay, so I'm going to hit home. I'm going to go to graph, and now then type in negative x squared plus 8x minus 12. Hit enter. I got my parabola. Now that I need to hit menu 5, 1, and I need to trace to that vertex, don't I? Notice that's one of my zeros is 2. I'm going to keep tracing till it says maximum, and my vertex is 4, 4 in it. So I'm going to go to the paper. Just draw right here 4, 4, and the parabola does this, doesn't it? Okay? So my max is 4, okay? The domain of any graph will always be all real numbers because it has arrow tips. And the range is going to be y. The graph opens down less than or equal to the max number. So that's my range, y less than or equal to 4. Continuing on, number 7. You're going to multiply this with the box, but let's just store it. We're going to store 2 for x. And we already have 2 stored for x. So we're just going to type in the problem, okay? So I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to type in home. And I'm going to go to calculate. I already have 2 stored for x, so I'm just going to type in parentheses 5x minus 3, and then parentheses 2x plus 1. Let me put a multiply there just in case. Times parentheses 2x plus 1. Close the parentheses, hit enter, and I get 35, don't I? So I'm going to go to my paper, and I'm going to put 35 right here. Now then, I'm going to multiply these. One of them is going to match up to 35. Remember, when you do this, you're going to do the first terms, you're going to have to multiply 5x and 2x, and that's 10x squared. That eliminates this choice. And we got to multiply negative 3 and negative 1, which makes it minus 3, which eliminates this choice. So we only have A and B to pick from. Negative 6 plus 5. Let's try choice B, okay? So let's do 10x squared. So 10x squared minus x, and then minus 3. Hit enter. Ding, ding, ding. It matches up to 35, doesn't it? So I'm going to go to my paper. I'm going to put 35 right here. These two match. This is the answer. Piece of cake. Make sure you know how to do store. If you can do store, you're going to do really good on this test. Let's go to number 8. Okay, let me go over here to number 8. We need to factor this, and it's going to be one of these expressions. I'm going to show you how to do it with a calculator way. Then I'm going to show you how to do it by hand, okay? This is not easy, but if you can do it on the calculator, it's going to work. You have to graph this, okay? One of the zeros is going to graph a line that goes to the 0 of the quadratic. So let's go to your calculator, and we're going to go to home A, or home B to graph. We're going to delete this graph, delete, 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 hit tab. Now then, let's type in 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. So I got the graph graphed. Now the 0 is going to go through one of these x-intercepts. Is everyone with me? Okay, so let's hit tab. And now then type in the first answer choice, which is x plus 5. So tab. Let's go to graph. Tab, x plus 5. X plus 5. Hit enter. X plus 5. That red line does not cross the parabola at the x-axis. So type in the next one. Hit tab. 2x plus 3. Ding, 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 ding. Do you notice how the black line goes to the parabola right at the x-intercept? Just to show you, let's graph D. So tab, 2x plus 5. Do y'all see how the peak line does not go through the parabola at the x-intercept? Hit tab again, and 2x minus 3. Notice the only one that worked was the black line, which was choice B with it. Y'all cannot miss this. So all you have to do is graph the quadratic, graph all those factors. One of them is going to cross the parabola at the x-axis. That's the right answer. On the test, it was 2x, or on that paper, it was 2x plus 3. Now then, to do this by hand, this is not easy to do. It's a lot of steps. You've got to multiply the 2 and the 15 and get 30. And then the factors of 30, you could do that by 30 divided by x, or 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and 5 and 6. We've got to subtract and get 7, which is going to be the 10 and the 3. So I'm going to put 10 and 3. I'm going to zoom in some. I need the 10 to be negative, the 3 to be plus. Negative 10 plus 3 is the negative 7, and the 2x has to go on bottom. That turns into your parentheses. Negative 10 divided by 2x is negative 5 over x, and we got plus 3 over 2x. These are our parentheses. This is not easy to do. The 2x plus 3 was the answer, wasn't it? Okay, a lot of steps to do that. You can graph it and get the answer though. So make sure you can graph those problems. Okay, now then we have this graph to the right. We need to label it, okay? First thing you want to do is get this vertex. I'm going to zoom in. And the vertex is at 3 on the x and 4 on the y, right? So it's going to be 3 comma negative 4. That's my... Okay, so 3 comma negative 4 is my vertex. It's going to be a min. And I know that my range is going to be y greater than or equal to that number, right? It's going to be everything above that point. And I'm going to draw the axis of symmetry right here. The axis of symmetry is x equals 3, which is this number, right? And then my domain, it has arrow tips. My domain is going to be all real numbers. So let's go back over here. Okay, the vertex was at 3, negative 4. The x-intercepts were at 1 and at 5, weren't they? So the zeros are the x-intercepts are at 1 and 5. The y-intercept was at 4. Okay, the max or min, we had a minimum, and it was negative 4. That should be negative 4. The axis of symmetry was x equals 3. The domain's all real numbers. And the range is going to be y greater than or equal to not positive 4, but negative 4, right? Make sure you can get all those points from that sketch of that parabola. You got to know all of that, okay? Number 10. This one is not easy, okay? This is going to be rough. You're going to have to factor this to get the right answer. There's no other way. So let's see if we can factor. We're going to take the 6 and multiply it by 6 and get 36. If you graph 36 divided by x and hit Control T, it will give you all of the factors. I know that the factors are 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and 6 and 6. So that's everything that multiplies to give you 36. We want to subtract and get 16, which is going to be the 18 and 2. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and write down 18 and 2. The 18 is going to be negative, and the 2 has to be plus. So negative 18 plus 2 gives me my negative 16. this has to go on the bottom. And notice both of the fractions will simplify. If you divide 18 by 6, you'll get negative 3 over x, and this is going to be plus 1 over 3x. Those are your two factors, okay? So this is going to turn into x minus 3 times 3x plus 1 over x minus 3. The x minus 3's cancel out, and you get 3x plus 1, but you divided these by 3, and you divided these by 2, didn't you? Okay? That means your GCF right here is going to be 2. You got to multiply by 2. That's really, really difficult for you to get because both of these divide by 2 also, or these divide by 6, don't they? So you can divide both of them by 2, can't you? This is not easy to do. If you could get this part right here, we're going to give you credit, okay? So just make sure you can factor and cancel out the common factors, okay? Not an easy problem, okay? Let's just practice one more. Let's do 2x squared. I'm making one up, so I hope it works. 2x plus 1 and x plus 3. Plus 5x, and then plus 3. So let's do this one. And all we're going to do is factor it, okay? So I need to do 2 times 3, and I'm going to get 6. The factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. The 2 and the 3 add up to the 5, don't they? So I'm going to put 3x and 2x, and they both have to be plus, and then put 2x on the bottom. Or put 3 and 2 up here, I'm sorry. Got to get used to this pen. So this one will just be 2x also. You can divide these by 2, and this will be 2x plus 3, and then this will be 1 over x. This will be x plus 1. If you multiply that, you get the 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Factoring is one of the hardest things you do in math. So don't get frustrated if you can't get this one right. This is easily the hardest problem on the test, okay? So make sure you can factor it and cancel out those common factors. Let's go to number 11. We're going to write the domain and range. So to do this, it really, really helps if you draw a box. Okay? Your domain goes from here to here. Okay? So this will be a shaded number because it's closed. It's -4. This will be an open, and it's going to be a 2 in it. And it's open, right? So go to your domain. Your domain will go from -4 to 2. The -4 gets the equal bar, and the 2 doesn't. Remember, you always use less thans, and if it has an equal bar, you give it a closed dot, okay? Let's do the range. The range goes from -4 at the bottom to +2. This is open, but this part's shaded. So we're going to keep the shaded part and shade that in. So the range goes from -4 to +2, which is the same thing. I messed up there. And then we're going to have less than or equal to on both of them, because this dot's closed at the top. Now then, in words, the domain is all numbers greater than or equal to, I should put greater than, or equal to -4 and less than, stretch this out, 2. So the domain is all the numbers greater than or equal to -4 and less than 2. Okay, the range is going to be all the numbers greater than or equal to -4 and less than or equal to +2. This is just saying to someone the range goes, the lowest, it has to be more than -4, it has to be less than 2. The domain has to go from -4 to 2 also, but it cannot equal to 2, okay? If you need to go back over this, watch the video again, make sure you can store. If you can store, you will get enough problems right to pass. Make sure you know this vocab. Okay, right here on number 9, that vocab is huge You must know how to get the vocab of this. Okay? You're going to do wonderful, wonderful on your test. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.